Gold and silver are continuing to show signs of a bull market rally, and there's not much in sight that could see it move in the opposite direction for a number of different reasons. We're going to talk about the big moves in gold and silver's price today in this video as we explore. Now, a worthy mention is palladium. It has exploded over 5% today, up $66. And I talked about palladium in a previous video. Hope you will check that out because it's a metal to watch as well as platinum is up $20 as well. It is up 1.25%. But gold and silver are the subject of this video. They are up dramatically. Gold broke a record here today, and last night we witnessed it in our Sunday night market watch. We do that every Sunday night here as the Asian markets open up. Gold is now within just about $40, less than $40 away from $4,000. In fact, it got up as high as $3,970.70 earlier in the day before pairing some of those gains. Silver is up 1.18%, not performing as well as gold today, but it is still up 56 cents right now to $48.60. It did get very close, within 19 cents of $49. That is near record territory in nominal dollars. Pretty amazing indeed. And I did make a purchase this morning, but I tell you, when you're thinking about making a purchase of precious metals, you should always expect that when you make that purchase, the prices will drop. Hopefully they won't, but it does happen. And of course, that's something I need to remind myself and you that that's a possibility, even in this big bull market. We've seen it happen 2 times, notably in the past couple of weeks here. But my friends at Summit Metals, they will walk you through the process. They're really good, excellent customer service, whether you're buying or selling your precious metals. So check them out. Link is in the description below. Now, with that being said, there's a lot happening here that is fueling the prices of gold and silver going up. I'm going to be referencing a few pieces here. One is kind of an overall piece here by Joe Renison about the what's going on with gold, especially, but silver is benefiting from what gold did. That I think that's the reason why silver is going up. But there's a hidden lining. There's a hidden silver lining with silver that I'm going to talk about briefly towards the end of this video. So stay tuned for that. I might expand upon that on a different video. But President Trump's decorators aren't the only ones bringing gold back into fashion. We're seeing money managers, investors, and central banks across the world have piled into gold this year, and they've been doing that, especially central banks, since 2022. And that's pushed its price about 50% higher and setting a series of records in the process. Gold is getting very close to $4,000 an ounce for the very first time in history. That's an all-time high when adjusted for inflation, by the way. I remind you and myself of that. Gold is in an amazing space right now, for sure. Silver has a long way to go, even though, again, as we mentioned, it is getting close to breaking a record in nominal dollars. Gold, often seen as a haven during times of turmoil, is on course for its best year since 1979, when prices surged over 100% during a period of high inflation, a depreciating dollar, and a geopolitical crisis in the Middle East. Well, I tell you what, it's had its best year this year, a long time ago. So Joe is wrong on this. It's at its all-time high when adjusted for inflation. 2025 is the best year for gold ever, even when you measure it in real dollars. There are uncomfortable echoes of the past surge today, according to analysts who attributed the recent rise in gold's price to demand from investors looking to shift away from U.S. assets at a time of political upheaval and uncertainty, highlighted by the government shutdown. The gold rally also reflects a strong undercurrent of unease among investors, even as stocks have repeatedly set records and giving Wall Street a bullish air. The dollar, by the way, is also up today. Gold is also attracted buyers because other traditional havens like the dollar and U.S. federal government bonds have lost some of their allure. But again, this is one of those days where the dollar being up. In fact, I'm going to look and see exactly what the dollar index is doing right now as we speak. It was up for most of the day. Let's see if it held on. No, it did pull back, but only slightly. It's down only 0.01%, so it's at 98.11. It had been resting in the 97 range for a little while, but here we are. Now, the Federal Reserve is expected to continue cutting interest rates. We're going to get into that in a moment as well. Moves that could continue to weaken the dollar, which has already slumped roughly 10% this year. Worries over ballooning debts and deficits have cast a cloud over America's creditworthiness, which no longer carries a top credit rating from many of the main agencies after a Moody's downgrade that we saw earlier this year. Now, here's another situation. The Japanese yen, which is another popular haven, took a hit on Monday after a surprise election of a leader at the long governing Liberal Democratic Party who has favored spending, tax cuts, and lower interest rates. Later on Monday, the abrupt resignation of France's prime minister, less than 24 hours after he had formed his cabinet, further destabilized a geopolitical outlook that dragged down the euro, sending investors towards the perceived safety of gold. The rally in gold has been largely driven by uncertainty, according to Ryan McIntyre, a senior managing partner at Sprott, an investment management firm that specializes in precious metals, as most of us know here. Whether that is geopolitical, economic, or now, there is the interest rate cycle entering people's minds. And so that's where we're going to pause and take a look at what the Fed Watch tool is telling us now. The meeting coming up here on the 29th of October shows shows a 94.6% chance that the Federal Reserve will lower rates by another quarter point. Actually, I thought it would be higher than that, but indeed, it is still in the high 90s. It's good, with a 5.4% chance that they're going to leave rates unchanged from where they're at. I think they're going to continue to lower rates. Yes, indeed. So that's what we've got there. Now, the other meeting we need to watch is going to be in the 10th of December, and that is where that 83.4% believe that they're going to lower rates another quarter point. So basically this year we're going to see 3/4 of a point cut, and I believe that's going to happen. And that's going to be, it's not going to hurt gold, that's for sure. It's going to continue to impress upon gold as being the ultimate safe haven, and silver is benefiting from that right now. Exchange-traded funds that buy gold purchased over 100 metric tons of their precious metal in September, according to Goldman Sachs. Analysts at the bank forecast that gold will hit $4,300 per ounce by the end of next year. According to analysts at Barclays, the amount of money flows into the largest gold-backed fund over the past 2 weeks has been surpassed only once before in the past 20 years. So rising gold prices have also helped boost the stocks of companies that mine the metal, and we've seen that mostly the miners have done fairly well. We have seen some hiccups in that, especially with silver miners, but nonetheless, they have done well. An index tracking gold mining companies on the New York Stock Exchange has more than doubled this year. Some central banks have been shifting out of dollar-denominated assets and into gold for the past few years. That's a de-dollarization, and that is likely not going to stop anytime soon. But with the move from private investors is what has added momentum recently, according to analysts. Yes, a lot of folks, a lot of big money whales, they call them, are buying into gold. And there's been people that are making purchases of silver too, larger purchases. And I've seen it on my channel. People have been commenting that they bought a lot of silver. And so that's what's happening now. This gold has risen sharply in value across major currencies like the yen, euro, and British pound. In fact, silver as well has broken records nominally in currencies around the world already. And it just hasn't happened yet here with the United States dollar, yet being the key word. With 19 cents shy of $49, that is the range within a dollar of breaking the all-time high for silver. It's pretty amazing. It really is becoming more of a strategic reserve asset both for sovereign nations as well as institutions, according to Mr. McIntyre. People are using it as a diversifier, especially with what's going on geopolitically. There's a deal with Hamas that are cautiously optimistic about, but the government shutdown, that still weighs in, and there's no sign that that's going to continue, that's going to go away anytime soon. Especially given that it's the latest factor fueling this continued increase in prices. Market watchers have to do without crucial economic data released by government agencies, raising consternation and confusion about the health of the economy, especially after recent signs of weakness in the labor market. Persistent labor market weakness raises the risk of a recession or stagflation, supporting gold allocations, which means that the Federal Reserve is really stuck. They got to lower rates, and they're going to continue to do that. Most understand that. That's going to only bode well for these precious metals. So that's what we're looking at here now. With silver, there's another factor we have to think about, and that is the conditions in the market itself, the short positions. And that is something that is under stress right now. Those short positions are being squeezed out big time. It's not necessarily with regards to supply. It's a squeezing of the short positions, and that's a big deal too. That is fueling silver as well, which in some way makes me confused and surprised that silver is not outperforming gold today. But indeed, it's still up well over 1%. So that's what's happening here. It's been an amazing ride. Folks, we're going to see $50, I think. And there may be some resistance, but I can't see how it could be much. And I may talk about that in another video. Let me know what your thoughts are about this development here with gold and silver today in this market report. I strive to bring you the latest news in world of precious metals. If you enjoy what I do here, I hope you will consider subscribing. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and hold on to your metals.